I want to know all about the show, the Civil War show that you're doing now, because it looks amazing and fascinating.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I thought when I read it and decided I would work on it. It spoke out loud to me the way songs or movies or sometimes even books can.
Did you know that your career would take this turn, that you become America's historian? Like, really, you tell the story of America.
Yeah, I like that part of it. In school we all kind of gravitate towards something. For me, it was recess and history.
Right.
There you go.
Will you do another sports movie? Because no one has made more good sports movies than you.
Yeah, well, I would. It's just, I made Bull Durham and Field of Dreams back to back, and one was thought of as, you can't even make one. They're like box office poison or something, whatever. But, Field of Dreams and Bull Durham separated themselves. So I never saw that as being a risk, but that's kind of like what the deal is with the mongoose and the cobra, right? The mongoose doesn't know he's in deadly territory. I just knew I read something great in Bull Durham. I knew I read something great in Field of Dreams, and the whole idea of this game is to try to match your sensibilities up with the audience.
I mean, you talk about those two, but I mean, for the love of the game, draft day.
I love of the game. Yeah.
That is one of my all-time favorites.
No,
I love that.
I feel the same. So I would do one in a sec. I had one, and then the Cubs went and won the World Series.
Right.
So I had one at one point. I was going to do it.
No,
that being said, if one comes across and I can fit, because the one thing you don't want to do is try to. If you don't fit in a sports movie, you just shouldn't do it. Doesn't matter how much you love the sport. It's kind of you owe the sport the reality that you can bring to it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Billy Chapel in the Cathedral, come on, Yankee Stadium.
What a mechanism.
Let's not. Okay, you used to have the greatest party at the Final Four. Will you ever come back and start doing a party at the Super Bowl?
It was the greatest party.
It was. People don't know, and if you don't know, you don't know. But it was the party.
Yeah, and it just happened, and we would make our own music. We would find some restaurant. But the party was Friday, I think, or Saturday. I'm not sure. It was at some restaurant. But what we did, a lot of people don't know, is I would take over a gym. So for about 6 years, we'd take over a gym in whatever town was going on. And I would get the coaches, and it would start with Krzyzewski. He was so great to come, and Bobby Cremens and Rick Majerus. They would bring some of their players, some of their ex-players. I got to start. It was my game. So, no, it was, and we would really play 2 or 3 hours. And those coaches inevitably would play a little bit. And to see these guys who we knew just as coaches, to see them, and the way those dudes treated me, starting with Mike, always Krzyzewski, was so classy, and even the things that speak out louder as championships, but what is more telling is in the 2 times when they lost games, he still invited me up to the room. He had his wits about him so much, and even to be around his players. Moments when I said maybe I shouldn't be there, and he said, "No, come." That's who he is, who he was.
I love that, and I love that story. All right, who you rooting for?
Well, this is, I kind of placed a bet. I never bet on games, but because I'm a kind of a Beach Boys guy. I'm true to my school. Mm-hmm. The Rams didn't make it, so it is really hard to root against either one of these teams, given that who thought they were going to be the conversation. And so I did this thing where I thought, I keep seeing this gambling thing, and I thought, I'll just give this thing a try. And I just bet on these teams clubbing each other to death. So I bet on the over, just to see what was going to happen, because very hard to root against somebody. Fairly easy to root for somebody.
That's true. Seattle has a great defense. They have a great defense. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they all do. They all beat your brains in. And you know what? They don't give a what we say.
No.
These two, that's the beauty of sports. Nobody cares. The players decide.
I agree with that, and that's why you play the game.
Yeah, and so, us kind of making predictions, it's just so lame. So I think they're just going to beat hell on each other. You watch.
All right, last thing. You're a musician. Bad Bunny performing this for the halftime.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy people stuck by him, and what a thrill for him. And it's classic, you know, something that he maybe dreamed about doing, or just, and then all of a sudden it turns sour. It's kind of crappy, and it's kind of, and I don't like that. And it's like we celebrate this guy, and that in America with the whole idea of what a thrill for him. And I hope we haven't really spoiled it for him. It can't help but have spoiled it a little bit for him. But you know what? When the music's behind him, that's what has driven him to success. I hope he just stands tall the way he has.